Let's take a closer look at the new Aston Martin AMR23. The team has high ambitions for this year and there are quite some nice features to talk about. For people who are new to my channel, I worked in the aero departments of McLaren, Force India and Racing Point before, and today I'm a self-employed motorsport consultant, so if you need help with your project, feel free to contact me. For the Aston Martin, we have to keep in mind that this is the first car they designed after their massive restructuring of the engineering department and with the new staff they hired from Red Bull, Mercedes and other teams. And another important point is that what we see here is launch spec. At the preseason test we will see a different spec, so there might be lots of new features and things could look differently. So let's start at the front. In contrast to most other teams, Aston Martin is not using a center-loaded front wing and instead loading it more outside. This would give you a bit less outwash to keep the front wheel wake outside, but to compensate for that they cut the front wing end plate a bit and use multiple elements at the bottom. Aston is traditionally using a two-element pitot tube. The upper one is to measure the airspeed, the lower one has holes in different angles at the tip to measure air direction. So in the data they can relate suction around the car to airspeed and direction. And let's talk about the side pods now. Similar to other teams, Aston Martin uses large downwashing side pods with a huge undercut. Also here, the lower edge of the intake is further forward to keep more clean flow below. In my other videos we talked about how some cars try to push the front rear wake outboard more aggressively, and this is where the Aston shows an interesting hybrid solution. They do have a large undercut to get clean air around the side pod, but pretty much in the middle of the wheelbase they push this flow pretty aggressively out. And this is just before the area of the highest flow suction, where it would be most likely to get dirty front rear wake underneath the car. So the clean air from the undercut area acts like a scarf around the side pod and makes sure the front rear wake stays outside and doesn't drift inboard to barrel area and beam wing. And so it's no surprise to see floor edge features exactly at this location with a strong clean outwash. The top side of the side pod is also a very nice design, and we could call it canyon design, because these channels are so deep like we haven't seen it on other cars before. Aston Martin took an extreme way here, kept a large sidewall and created a strong downwash that moves towards the center line of the car, so to the critical beam wing area. At the same time, it's nice to see that they use a slim lower rear bodywork, have the downwashing cooling outlets above, and also place the additional cooling louvres on top of this path. Also here, the inner side is dragged down a bit more, keeping the losses close to the center and releasing all of them between beam and rear wing. Also, a nice detail is the rear mirror stay, which teams used as an aggressive wall last year to increase outwash. But here it's far less aggressive and creates a vortex to help the downwashing flow to stay attached in different situations. And similar to the Williams, the Aston Martin side pods are not as large as on other cars, so they kept a bit more center cooling. Also here, the shark fin is small and they try to guide the shark fin vortex underneath the rear wing instead of hitting it. So all in all, a really neat design we see here and a much better basis than last year because the bouncing got in the way. Also, Aston Martin was willing to take some risks here and try their own solutions. So how do you like the new Aston Martin AMR23? Let me know in the comments below and check out my other F1 videos for more.